what did Kyrie Irving organize over the weekend? What did happen over the weekend in this video conference with NBA stars here?
Well, essentially, it was a call for about 80 players. At one point, it got to, I want to say, max of 84 players in there, and it was stars from all ranges. It was players from all ranges. So it wasn't just stars. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook were in there, but basically, he wanted to give everybody who felt like they didn't have a voice in this process, wanted to give them a platform to air their grievances, air their concerns. It was a platform where a lot of young guys got to talk. Donovan Mitchell, Bam in Orlando. Donovan Mitchell made a point that, he felt like with his extension being coming up this summer, he was hesitant to play because he didn't want to mess up his chance to, get a max contract. He felt like if he came back and what if he got hurt, that'll mess things up on his end. And so there's a bunch of concerns. And, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, Avery Bradley, they all kind of agree with Kyrie that, there's more important things going on than playing. And then, but that was the minority. It was about 5 or 6 guys who let it be known that they weren't interested in playing. They felt like this is a time to make change of what's going on in our society right now. And the other portion, the other people, that it was just trying to explain to them the ramifications of not playing. So that there wasn't enough opposition to say this thing is headed in a place where there's not going to be a season. That's not the case at all. It was just, I think Kyrie Irving just giving people a platform to feel like they're in this process, and because that's what a lot of young folks, young players, that was their criticism, that they didn't have a vote in the say of if the season's going to restart or not.
Okay, so would you please give more of an airing to the philosophy that you said was in the minority, that instead of protest being part of the sport, protest instead of the sport? And who was that? Kyrie and Dwight Howard? I mean, who? And give a little bit more of an airing on that theory and philosophy, if you don't mind, Chris.
That was Kyrie, Dwight Howard, Avery Bradley, Carmelo Anthony. Trying to think who else. I know I'm missing somebody, but they're feeling. Donovan's. His concern was, his extension. It was more so on that, and then obviously with the COVID, he tested positive for corona before, so that's still on his mind as well. But his main concern in that call, sources say, was his extension that he can receive this summer, not jeopardizing getting a max contract. But most of the guys that had a problem with going and playing, it was due to the racial injustice going on in the aftermath of George Floyd tragedy, and so they were. Dwight Howard, he was passionate. He felt like if they don't take a stand now, like what are we going to stand for? And he felt like players were saying just the optics of just being huddled out there in Orlando, just being stuck, just bad optics for a league that's majority African American, just to be stuck over there just for entertainment purposes and economical factors. And so they felt like, we got to make a stand right now and take a stand that, this is not about money. Will there be some sacrifices? Yes, but we feel like, we have to be on the front lines. And that's what Kyrie Irving was saying. Like, he was willing to risk it all to be on the front lines and try to make a difference in the community. So those were some of their reasons. Those some things that they were voicing, during this call. And it was a call that Kyrie Irving threw. This wasn't a call sanctioned by the Players Association.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie is vice president of the Players Association. So this came out of nowhere. And Chris Paul, he was a part of it. He called in. But this wasn't something that he sanctioned, and so it was a little bit of a monkey wrench, sort of say. But at the end of the day, I felt like it was one that was unified. It had a lot of people talking. Al Farouk Amino, who's one of the quietest guys in the league, He was very talkative and communicative, and so at the end of the day, it was a good phone call to get everybody on the same page, just to see where to go here from now, and if anything, just to allow people to have a voice who normally wouldn't.